murder, these things are happening in the cities with the most amount of gun control. Right? There are outliers, of course, like the mass shooting in Austin. But even Austin, those are Democrat strongholds in a conservative state. And then when you go to a Democrat-ran state altogether, the crimes go up. The murders go up. If you live in a town that has constitutional carry, I guarantee you could almost take the amount of murder and gun violence that has happened in the last 10 years. That probably happens in a weekend in Chicago. What are the common denominators in these high gun violence and crime-ridden cities? They're ran by Democrats. Why is crime going up now? Because there are no penalties for the crimes that are being committed. You have to understand at some point, if you keep letting them accelerate the gas pedal, they're going to hit people. Bad things are going to happen. But these Democrats will never put their foot down. They will only appease because that's how they feel they will get elected. I believe we're seeing a shift in the United States now where minorities, the majorities, Democrats, Republicans, country, city, they're recognizing these trends. They see what's going on. And the shit's gotta stop. The fringe left can push and push. I think we're starting to see their climax here. Because they can no longer hide the common denominator. That these Democrat leaders and their politics are what's bringing on this crime wave. That there isn't a gun violence epidemic. There is a Democrat epidemic. The problem with America right now is not white supremacy. It is critical race theory. It is Marxism. It is the organization BLM being allowed to do and get away with billions of dollars worth of damage. I don't believe it's going to stop overnight, but I think the majority of people here, they're starting to put two and two together. Understand we will never be able to get a group of people as large, I'd say 100, couple hundred, that think the same, that America is a great place. We should be allowed to own firearms. Heaven forbid you be white and a Christian. But now with them watching and tracking social media along with the Patriot Act, there will be no January 6th ever again, right? And that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I'm not talking about storming a federal building. I'm talking about just a large group of people saying, this is wrong. This has to stop. And even though the government says so, that doesn't mean it's right. Our number one priority right now as American people should be putting the government and the people on the level. Not white and black people as equals. Not Asians, Muslims, Jews. We're not talking about equality there, okay? We've had that in America for some time, whether you want to believe that or not. What we don't have is the government and the people equal. Yes, we need a strong government. Yes, we need a strong military. But when it comes to the government against its own people, we should be on the level. If the people rise up and speak and say this is wrong, the government should listen and say, yes, you're absolutely right, it is wrong. If the people rise up and stand up and say, hey, the CDC has changed its mind over and over again, back and forth, masks are good, masks are bad, kids need vaccinated, kids don't need vaccinated, they're being wishy-washy, we don't believe the CDC should be in charge. And if they must be in charge because they're the best we got, there should be audits. Show us proof. Where are you getting your facts? Stop silencing some scientists just because they disagree with you. And as far as guns go, or any kind of offensive military weapon, whatever you want to call it, what do you need an AR-15 for? It doesn't take 30 rounds to kill a deer. Well, fortunately for us, an AR-15 isn't for deer hunting. Can you use it for one? Absolutely. An AR-15 is there to protect life. And whatever we are giving our military to protect their lives, you would hope is the best, right? You want the top of the line. Those are our soldiers, and we want them to have the best chance they can to protect their lives, to protect all lives. We should want the same for our people here in the United States. I do not get to have something that is less when it comes to protecting my life. There is no difference between that. A life is a life. If something is incredibly accurate, functions, reliable, and is proven to work on a battlefield, we should be allowed to use that to protect our lives. That's not saying give them to the people and let them go on an offensive killing spree. That's not what happens. And there is plenty of evidence to back that up. How many mass shootings have been carried out with people that have got carry concealed permits? Yeah, I can't think of any either. So what is giving them a tool that is better to protect their lives gonna make a difference? It's not. Fully automatic weapons, same deal. If the criminals have fully automatic weapons, guess what? They made those weapons fully automatic, and they broke the law. If they were fully automatic when they got those weapons, guess what? They got those from the cartels. They got those from other criminals. They got those from the FBI and ATF and Project Fast and the Furious. And if the criminals have those kind of weapons, why in the hell shouldn't we be allowed to have those weapons? There isn't a good argument for it at all. Gun laws don't work because criminals don't follow laws. If something is efficient at protecting a soldier's life, it should be just as well and good for it to protect a civilian's life. It looks too militaristic. It's scary. That bullshit's got to stop. The facts over feeling shits, it's got to stop. That is not how you move forward in a progressive society. That is not progressive at all. In fact, I would argue that a lot of these new fringe left progressives, their ideals, they're not progressive at all. More government, socialism, Marxism, that is not a progressive way of thinking. Independence, that's progressive, right? Using tools that are more efficient to protect yourself, that's progressive. Including all races or just not seeing race at all, that's progressive. Not critical race theory, not teaching children that the white man is evil. That is not progressive at all. That is like taking a time machine back into the worst parts of American history. I'm not saying we don't need to teach about slavery in school or the Holocaust. In fact, I believe we should teach those things. We should teach our kids that that is wrong and we have moved past it. I would use the term progress past that point in American history, and we're better for it, right? But not that the white man owes us something, not that white people walk around with white privilege. What's that doing? I can tell you what it is doing. It's instilling hate in the youth of young minorities. That's why you have a person in Austin go on a mass shooting spree and kill 5 white people. And then the news be afraid to mention their race when he's still at large.